and we would just go out and get drunk at the Tally Ho every Wednesday, do karaoke, and that was my
Tally Ho.
At Tally Ho, yeah, that was my 2011, 2012.
Your formative years.
Just getting terribly inebriated and waking up at 5 a.m. to go to Philly the next day. I could do it back then. I don't know how did I have that energy?
I don't know. It's gone now for me too.
Right?
It's a young man's game.
Just once it's once it's the double digits on the clock time thing, it's just like
the clock time thing.
The clock time. Once it's 9:59 past 9:59, it's lights out.
Yeah, it's lights out in the
preferably
the prison you've invented for yourself.
The prison.
Yeah,
the hardest prison to get out is the one you make your own, and you have all the blueprints ingrained in your DNA.
Right.
So
yeah, it's more fun to believe that you didn't make it.
Right. It's easier and it feels better to blame someone else for designing the prison.
Yeah.
It's good to it feels good to have an enemy.
Right, the warden.
Yeah.
Warden. Like maybe you invented the warden. Maybe you hired one of these creatures that you've taken out of the swamp to be the warden. Mm-hmm.
You built them out of mud.
Yeah,
just like those orcs in Lord of the Rings.
Right.
And
they're just pure.
Yeah. Just pure evil. You just enjoy hating them.
Mm-hmm.
So
the orcs in Lord of the Rings, there were goblins weren't they part goblin? How'd they make those orcs? Because the orcs didn't exist until Sauron made them, right? Or did they?
Maybe they existed and they just kind of hibernate between wars.
Or did they make a hybrid goblin orc, like a gork?
They did make a leader, I believe.
They did, right?
Yeah.
They made him. I'm not misremembering that.
They just gave him a crown. Well, not a crown. They gave him
slapped him in the face with white paint.
Just in The Force Awakens, which was a pretty effective move, just to kind of identify one stormtrooper out of thousands. Just let's just have him just see his friend die, and somehow, even though he got shot with a laser blaster, he's just bleeding out of his intestines. And
right.
Just smears that blood against the guy's helmet.
Yeah.
It's an effective way to track a character, that's for sure. But it's also just dumb as hell. So
yeah. Sometimes the most dumb things are the most fun things. Right.
There's that book, Everything Good is Bad for You. Or is it Everything Bad is Good for You? I think it's Everything Bad is Good for You.
Everything bad is good for you?
Everything bad is good for you.
Everything bad helps you become challenges you and makes you a better person? Is that
junk food and television. I used to have this book. It had a red cover on it. Everything bad is good for you. How today's pop culture is actually making us smarter, by Steven Johnson.
Oh, I should read that because sometimes
it just enables you just to kind of just give into your wolves.
You know what? I need to be enabled a little bit more. Yeah. I think.
It's basically saying that even the worst sitcoms on the air right now are still just evolved so much past than I Love Lucy or any of those other just kind of just products of their time. It's just the base level of awareness and education. It has only risen over the years, even if it's still embedded in our worst, according to Jim, sitcoms.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a good one.
Yeah.
I also just said yes, you should play video games because it teaches the brain about structure and navigation. So
yeah, I love video games. Do you love video games?
I love them.
Do you know who else really loved video games?
Who?
Brian Lee O'Malley, the writer of Scott Pilgrim, the Scott Pilgrim book series.
So Scott Pilgrim versus the World is the name of the movie, but not the comic book. Is that correct?
No, that is correct.
Okay.
It's you're challenging me now and exposing me for my lack of research. It is.
You know, if your lack of research, Justin, don't worry about it. No joke.
Oh yeah, from your fucking from is that in the notes?
Yeah, it's
the notes that you received from the hipsters.
The hipsters.
The hipster notes.
Those dang hipsters.
Yeah, no. 1 second. We'll edit this part out.
What is that?
Man, I seamlessly transitioned us. I'm not known for my research, but I'm known for my transitions.
That was a good pivot.
Thanks. I've been trying to
a segue.
Thanks. I've been trying to find it organically, start talking about some shit, and then it's oh, how do we get there? And just let it happen. But no, the books. Let's see here.
It looks like there's just a series of books called Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, they're all It's Scott Pilgrim's. The first book's called Precious Little Life. And then they all have like different titles.
We've got Scott Pilgrim. Oh, Verse of the World is the second one.
Yes, there you
Scott Pilgrim and the Infinite Sadness is Volume 3.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Pilgrim Gets It Together, Volume 4. That should have been the finale. Scott Pilgrim versus the Universe, Volume 5. And then Scott Pilgrim's Finest Hour, Volume 6.
Well, I'd have to argue he has to get it together before he faces the universe.
True.
Like, you face the world, and then,
And then you have your Finest Hour.
Yeah. Well, you got to get together. And then you have your Finest Hour. And then
one could argue that's when you live your precious little life.
Yeah, it's true. It's a full circle. But, we're not talking about the books. In my defense, we're talking about the movie. Mm-hmm. We will touch on the books a little bit. That's right. This week, welcome to Amusing Ourselves to Death, first of all.
Welcome, Justin. It's just you and me.
It's just you and me.
It's been a while. It's been a long time. Had a lot of guests on.
Yeah, a lot of great people.
They've all been wonderful.
Oh, wait. Are we cracking it yet?
I need to.
Okay, all right. Let's just crack it now. All right, and we're in. Yeah, we haven't had an episode together, just the two of us, since I think the 2019 countdown.
We've been
19.
busy, yeah. A lot of people are apparently joining us bullshit for 2 hours at a time. So
yeah,
but it's good just to you and me. We just kind of just no segues, no monkey business, getting straight to the core. No rabbit holes.
No.
Just straight content.
Just straight.
That's what we're all
content,
about, delivering content
right into your veins. Mm-hmm. Just straight content. Yeah, I guess let's just get right into it, because you just said no rabbit holes.
Yeah.
No meandering
tangents. We're gonna go basically replicate the Wikipedia page, just plot, cast, production, release, reception, references, and external links.
Yeah. So okay, great. Great. So we're just gonna read the Wikipedia. Yeah. Great.
What is this? Improvised Wikipedia?
Oh, shout out to Improvised Wikipedia. They don't listen. Hey, you know what? Nobody listens to each other. We're all just shouting in the darkness.
We're all just liking each other's posts.
Yeah, well, that's enough.
Yeah, it's enough.
It's enough to like people's posts. Hey, you've been off Facebook for a little bit, right?
Off?
Yeah. No, never mind. I'm thinking of somebody else. It's very late. It's 8:30. It's almost lights out in Jiah's house.
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
It's early February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I deleted the Facebook app from my phone. I think is what.
I did that too, and the Twitter app.
Oh, you did that too.
But every now and then there'll be like something I have to check, so I'll just log in through Safari.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's always just like, oh, did Nick Houston post a good Sopranos gift today? Did our group chat talk about Little Women today? Things I have to know while I drive a car down the highway.
Yeah. There's certain things you just need a break from driving for a little bit, just to avert your eyes.
It's boring on 476. It's all under construction between Quakertown and Lansdale. And it's like, geez, give me a break.
Give me a break.
Snooze City.
Oof. It's not Snooze City though. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Oh my God, this movie.
I really do. I'm really excited we're already in this film. This was, I believe, on our list of when we first adjourned.
Yes.
Not adjourned. When we first convened.
When we first said goodbye to each other.
We made a list of everything we want to talk about on this podcast. This project we were going down, and I believe this was definitely on that list of movies.
It was.
So
yeah, I believe we recorded the episodes of The Leftover season 1, and then we started spitballing more stuff, and I was like, oh, we're gonna keep doing this. Yeah. Oh, okay,
yeah,
this will be a one-off thing, but yeah, and
we just wanted to watch The Leftovers and find an excuse to talk about it.
Right. Yeah. Turns out there's a lot of other things we want to talk about. But yeah, Scott Pilgrim has always been on there. This is a movie that I don't think I will ever tire of.
No.
I watched it 2 nights ago, and then I watched half of it again last night, along with a bunch of like special feature stuff.
Ooh.
See, I do my fucking research.
You control.
Okay? I control.
You hear that, Evan?
You hear that, Evan? All right, I'm doing my research.
Timmy?
I'm going to drop some fucking facts on you tonight. You don't even know. So yeah, I'm just kidding. I love you. You're a great guest. Please come back.
Speaking of...
Anyway,
yeah.
But yeah.
When did you first... So you read the comic books first?
No.
Okay.
So I saw this movie when it came out. Might have been opening weekend. You have a memorable story. I don't really... That you've told me. You saw a midnight showing of it. But for me... I don't remember who I saw this with. I think I saw it with my friend Corey. He was definitely there. And maybe my friend Jamie. But yeah, no, this was, I saw trailers for it. I had no idea anything that it was about, except for that Michael Cera was in it. And I was a huge Arrested Development fan.
He was having a good couple years there between like 2007 and 2011, I believe. He was probably good 1 or 2 movies a year.
Was this before or after Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist?
This is after Nick and Nora's, and I think this is why my experience with this movie was I was working at a movie theater in Doylestown, and we had a coworker guy named John Tilton, and he was just like hyping this thing up for like months on end. He was a big fan of the comics. And after work one day, he happily drugged me and a couple other coworkers. He drugged us. He dragged us to the theater, I believe it was the AMC in the Chamonix, kind of south of Doylestown. And we went to a midnight show, 12:01 on the dot. Back when midnight shows used to mean something, goddamn.
Now, was this a Thursday night midnight show or Friday night midnight show?
I believe it was Thursday into Friday morning, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Thursday night kind of sneak preview.
Right.
And it was a sold-out show.
Really? Sold out?
Sold-out show.
See, I don't remember the reception of this movie and if it was as big of a deal as it is now, at least for me. Like,
the theater was basically on fire once that Universal Studios logo showed up with the 8-bit and Nintendo-esque MIDI score.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, this is gonna be fun, and like the audience in that film was like such on the wavelength that it was supposed to be. Like everyone was into it. Every joke was landing. Mm-hmm. The film wasn't interrupted by like that. People like being annoying or nothing like that, but still just like people enjoyed it.
It was a fun theater experience, which are rare these days.
I've been to a lot of comedies where just like it's like these are funny jokes and nobody's laughing.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you guys asleep?
No,
it's
hard
2:00 on a Monday, but still, it's
difficult. It depends on how your day was, and like when I watch things alone, I don't really laugh unless they're. I think you should leave that entire show. I laughed out loud the whole time.
Yes,
even when I was alone. But it's hard to get on the same wavelength as strangers around you. So when you find that magical moment where it's midnight, everybody's excited. This movie is so full of people that
a lot of fans
insane
I believe
things.
of the comic, but just fans of like video games and pop culture and comics in general. And this is still kind of like before even like the Marvel takeover was in full effect. This is summer 2010.
Mm-hmm. Like Chris Evans had been in Fantastic Four,
right,
which flopped both movies. But I don't believe he was Captain America yet.
I think the next year was Captain America.
Yeah.
First Avenger.
First Avenger for our non-American audiences.
Yeah.
It was it's just the whole movie just like kept me guessing the whole time. It was just so fun. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Edgar Wright is a genius, and he put so much love into this movie that it's like so meticulously crafted, like shot by shot. Like you mentioned, I didn't read the books beforehand, but after the movie came out, my friend Travis, he had the books. I don't know if he bought them right afterwards or if he had them before, but I borrowed them from him. The black and white versions. I haven't read the color versions yet.
So there's 2 different versions, color and black and white.
Yep, it's initially in black and white.
Is there a third version? I don't know what that would be, but is there?
Well, there's a couple different box sets that are out there. I was trying to find the right versions and eventually settled on, no, I'm going to buy the individual hardcovers. So there's some nice bigger hardcover color versions that I got coming in the mail right now because I want to reread this. And I've always wanted to own it, and I just never pulled the trigger. But anyway, I read the books afterwards, and it's the books are very close to the books. Brian Lee O'Malley was on set the whole time and was basically like he had the final say on a lot of things, and Edgar Wright was like he read these books and then fell in love with them, and he's like, we have to do this movie. And then so he's so involved that like the shots shot by shot, like it's almost exactly.
It had to be heavily storyboarded. I mean, there's so many shots that depend on this transition and match cutting to other things.
And Edgar Wright actually he storyboards every single shot of the movie. He has it all written, like cut it in his mind before he starts filming it. So it's like if like you watch special features on the Bluray and like they go through the storyboards and it's like
I watched those years ago. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so crazy.
He's one of the most exciting filmmakers we've ever had. And then like it's a shame that like not a shame. I'm glad that he's like not putting out something every year. I feel like he'd be burned out, but. He started with Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and then after Hot Fuzz, I think we were all waiting on like the third in the Cornetto trilogy, and then he puts out Sky Pilgrim. And I think initially I was like, "What the hell? Why isn't he working on the third movie? And what's this Michael Cera bullshit? Didn't we just see Nick and Nora?"
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, he's sold out. He's doing some bullshit."
Playlist.
Yeah.
And no, this is just like him, just kind of like playing a different instrument, but like still has that same talent.
It feels just like him. Yeah,
he just imbues his films with such energy and just. one could say like, okay, maybe he's got some kind of ADHD where he doesn't let things just kind of breathe, but like, it's just for a comedy that's just it's so exciting to have like every, creating so many moments out of just like reaction shots and inserting sound effects. I feel like a lot of like maybe movies and television comedies are just kind of a little lifeless. They're just like, let's just get coverage of funny people, which it's not a bad approach, especially if you're making so many shows, a television show even. But I feel like a lot of times they're just like, they don't take in effect like, oh, what can I get jokes out of cinematography or editing, as opposed to just like talent making jokes in the center of a frame.
So I'll just keep a camera on them and then just let them riff, and it's like that's like the Apatow kind of thing that he kind of started doing.
Not that there's anything wrong with that approach.
No,
it's just like it's so refreshing to see Edgar Wright just like this is my game.
Yeah.
And one wonders like he was slated to direct Ant-Man with Paul Rudd. Ugh. And I think he wrote like a draft of the script. He left the project. And I wonder if like his sensibilities of like imbuing every frame and every shot with like just kind of his manic energy is the reason why he left that project. It kind of strayed too far from like the Marvel, this is how we're doing things. We're doing drab, grayish superhero films with like no life in them.
Right. Whereas Ant-Man's, it's supposed to be a comedy, and they did end up making it.
Some
of
that DNA is still like, I think it was almost like it was in the script. You couldn't like not do it. But,
right. Like the handbag scene where they're Paul Rudd. I don't want to go too off on a tangent about Ant-Man, but
let's talk about Ant-Man.
Where they're like having that fight scene and like one of them hits the cell phone, and then like the Cure song starts playing, and it's like all these like nice little gags are in there. But I can't imagine like what the movie could have been. Edgar Wright with like a Marvel Disney budget.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? Like, this movie looks insanely good, and I don't know what the budget was for this movie, but I know he went. I don't know.
I believe the budget
almost went over it a bunch of times.
Of this movie.
Of this movie.
Of this movie.
Of this movie.
Of this movie. God damn it.
It's okay. Just look it up. It's fine.
I can't find it.
You can't find it? That's okay.
Look, this was money.
It was money.
It cost money to make.
Yeah. It costs a lot of money to make. But I bring that up because
$60 million.
$60 million. Okay.
Next to our intern.
Yeah.
Felix.
Do we have to name the imaginary intern? I feel like it's more work now. Because now it has a name.
He's a human being.
Now we gotta refer to him as thank you, Felix. Yes, thank you,
Felix.
I'm nodding in Felix's direction. He's not.
Now go get your shine box.
Shine those shoes.
Gotta get my shoes. Anyway,
yeah.
So Scott Pilgrim came out August 13th in 2010.
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Almost 10 years ago.
This made my top 10 of the decade list.
I bet.
This film. I think it was my number one of 2010. Yeah, so we just, I have some like big picture questions, but you want to just kind of, the basic plot of the film is a kid named Scott Pilgrim living in Canada. Toronto. He's a musician. Mm-hmm. He's in a band. He's dating a high schooler. Sex Bob-omb, which Bob-ombs are references to the villains from Mario. Is that right? Bob-ombs?
Yeah, they're little bombs with the little feet.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're in the first Mario. They might not show up until like Super Mario.
Little henchmen that are just made out of explosives.
Yeah. They're referencing the Super Mario Brothers movie, which everybody saw. Mm-hmm. There's a little Bob-omb with sneakers.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He falls in love with an Amazon delivery girl named Ramona Flowers.
Yes.
Played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Holy shit, I love her so much. Mm-hmm. She is so fucking talented. Anyway, go ahead. Yep. Falls in love with her. Well, first he's dating a
high
scandal.
schooler.
Scott Pilgrim's dating a 17-year-old girl. He's 22.
22. It's not so weird.
They haven't done anything. It's just for show.
They're having playtime during daylight hours.
Yeah. He's babysitting.
They're playing Ninja Revolution.
Yeah, they're going to Goodwill. They're going to the record store, and it's mostly just him talking about himself and Knives just going gaga over him.
It's just like she just discovered what music can be, and her whole world's been exploded.
Right. Then he falls in love with
he sees her in a dream, Ramona Flowers first, then he sees her in real life, tries to track her down in kind of a stalkerish way, slightly. Kind of. He just goes to the same party that she's at, but I don't think he knows that she's there, right? Right. It's just like fate.
Because his band drags him to the party. Mm-hmm. And so it just happens he sees her across the room, and then he decides to approach her, and it does not go well. Which is one of my favorite scenes.
Right. Oh, yeah, about
we'll get to notable scenes later, but the Puckman scene.
But then the plot of the film is basically him, like, I guess, metaphorically having to deal with her baggage of her last 7 romantic entanglements.
Right, not even metaphorically.
Right.
Like it's all literal.
It's a strange world this movie occupies, where it's like this is happening in the world, but it's also not happening.
It is happening. It's all happening.
It is happening, but it's also
almost
not happening.
It's been described as like this is like almost the daydream of Scott's that's happening.
Right.
But it's real. The way they described it is that how in musicals, how when people have these huge emotional moments, they start singing.
Breaking a song.
They break in a song.
Okay.
They wanted to make in this movie, instead of breaking a song and dancing, they just fight. So it's like replace the singing and dancing with fighting, and that's Scott Pilgrim versus the world.
We need more of those.
Yeah, right?
Right? I mean, enough musicals already. We get it. You can sing.
Yeah, I know. Musicals are so
Do, re, mi,
everywhere
fa,
now.
sa.
Yeah.
Let me see a roundhouse punch.
Yeah, roundhouse punch. Go around the house and punch him. I want to see that fist go round.
So that's the movie. Him fighting is about
her 7 evil exes.
There's about 6 or 7 fight sequences. There is a twin battle that.
Yeah,
but
which counts as like
It was 1. They had.
It's technically 2.
Right. But I'm saying it's like 1 scene though.
Right.
They gave her. They had her date a couple twins.
Yeah.
So all about economics of storytelling. Really, it's just like we're gonna have 7 of these. So let's combine one if we can. And then he fights, and then he kind of learns something. He kind of gets the power of self-respect, and he kind of just gets over this baggage through his own sheer will and love of himself, like a non-selfish love. And
yeah, he earns the power of self-respect.
Self-respect. He pulls
which is
a
more powerful
sword
than love.
out of his own chest.
Yeah, because first he gains the power of love. Not enough. Not enough because he needs the power of self-respect. And that's more important than love. And you can't love somebody until you love yourself and respect yourself. That's the message of this movie.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. I have yet to see it proven.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's got time for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's the basic outline of the movie. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I wrote a lot of stuff down. I didn't make like so much of an outline, but so you loved this movie the first time you saw it?
Yeah, like I said, it's the energy, it's the hyper specific video game culture jokes, just sound effects in the background of just like when you hit like the wrong button in Mario,
right? Or
even just like the more broad references like Tony Hawk Pro Skating.
Yeah.
The Zelda music, the Zelda load screen music plays when he goes to the bathroom.
Yes, and the when he pees, the little pee bar goes down,
and all those little icons and just like progress like status bars. They're all like exist in the world where like they actually kind of like that P bar exists in the mirror as well, and like they kind of go in and out of focus in the frame. It's such an attention to detail that could have just been like lazily done, but like no, these things are actually happening. These things exist in this character's lives.
Right. Yeah. The world definitely feels very real and well thought out, and I don't know. I think it is happening. I don't know in some way, but it's interesting though because then you have the Matthew Patel fight. Right? When Scott's sister is watching the Matthew Patel fight and they start fighting, she has this look on her face being like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
Has this never happened? But then it makes me think like, I don't know, they do make some allusions to like how things are different in America than in Canada because like the dream subspace highways that I don't know if you know about that, but that is a real thing. When he sees her in his dream,
yes,
that is a technology that America has developed in the books to allow people to travel through other people's like minds and dreams to get to places quicker, which is why she's such a good delivery person.
This is back in 2010 when Amazon was still kind of just like, oh, they're great.
Yeah. You know how like sci-fi predicts the future in accurate ways? I feel like we're 10 days away from this technology from Jeff Bezos just like using your brain.
He's just going to accidentally invent it, and it's we're just going to be too. It's convenient, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But you do see it a little bit. Like that's why when he has the dream about her, and she comes to the door, and he wakes up, and she's there. It's because she literally was in his dream. And also, she uses the same things like, that thingy, the door, the little door with a star. And it's like that's a real thing. It's like, oh, they're just traveling to different
That
locations.
didn't represent them like overcoming some kind of like initial hurdle when you get to know someone. Like that was like the threshold you crossed to take a leap.
But it's also just a magical door. That's what's great about this movie is like it's all metaphorical, but also very literal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It is what it isn't. It is what it isn't. Yeah, and that door also
Yin and yang.
kind of reminded me of that's obviously very video game-ish, but Super Mario 2. You ever play that?
Probably a little bit.
There's that when you find the potion.
Sorry, were you a Nintendo guy or a Sega guy?
I was always a Nintendo guy. Okay. So
I was like Sega like for the first half of my childhood.
Yeah,
and then like a Sega Dreamcast, then Nintendo 64.
Mm-hmm. Wow, you bounced back and forth.
And then I got a Dreamcast, so I went back to Sega, and then I got a PlayStation 2, and then it was pretty much like PlayStation. And then I got an Xbox 360 like briefly. And then I basically been PlayStation.
You didn't know what you wanted.
I didn't. I still don't.
See, my friends and I
Please tell me
very strong brand loyalty.
Yeah.
Fuck anything else. It was Nintendo, and up until GameCube, and then it was all hands off.
Hands off.
All hands off. Hands off.
Hands.
Yeah. No. So let's see here. Okay. Well, let's touch on the books really quick.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
So there's 7 evil X's, but there's only 6 books.
Only 6 books. Yes.
That was a little sloppy to me, Brian O'Malley. I don't know.
It's Brian Lee O'Malley.
See, one less name, one less book. I mean.
But yeah, no. I need to reread these. I read through them once. It expands on the worlds quite a bit. It takes its time a little bit more.
I bet. Like the time in this film is very compressed. It moves at a very quick clip.
Yeah. But that being said, it's very accurate. All of the they use the actual locations because he drew the real locations for reference for the comic book. So they just went to those places to film.
I love that.
Yeah, and then doctored them up a little bit. Like
him.
Second Cup was a real coffee shop place. Pizza is a real place. And they made it a point to like go like not just like the touristy areas of Toronto, but like the mundane areas of Toronto.
What about that big mountain with the staircases where they filmed the movie on top of?
Oh, the castle?
Yeah,
that's a real castle.
That's real.
That's just there. Yeah. It was actually inspired. He when he was writing the book, he walked by that one night, and they were actually filming a movie there. I forget what movie it was, but that's what kind of gave him the inspiration. He saw all those lights and stuff happening.
That's cool.
The Rock Club. Oh God, what the hell was it called? The first one, the dive bar that the Matthew Patel fight happens in.
Yes.
Yeah, that bar is actually a. What did I write it down? I think I wrote it down.
It's a bar.
Oh, Lee's Palace.
Lee's Palace.
Lee's Palace. It's I don't think it existed anymore, but it was like a very like revered like rock club in the Toronto music scene, and so they recreated it like. I don't know.
Down to the details.
Down to the details, yeah. Because the bands who did this movie, which I'll get into the music a little bit later, like Broken Social Scene and all of them, and Metric, they like used to perform there, and then they like walked in there and they're like, holy shit, this is the club, and it's like crazy how much detail they put into it. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know. I love that it was a real place. I didn't know that until I watched the special features that these were all real locations. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, as far as the books go, the ending I think is slightly different. I don't remember the specifics of it. It's not quite as straightforward as as you know them just like breaking the microchip. I feel like at some point there's like a bigger battle. I remember Stephen Stills is gay. That is revealed in the book. He has a boyfriend later on, but in the movie he seems to be dating what's her face from
Kim?
Parks and Rec.
No.
The Stephen Stills' ex-girlfriend. Remember they're at the party. And
character name.
Yeah, the character
name.
Yeah, the character name. No, from Parks and Rec. What's her?
Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza's character. Plaza, yeah.
Yes.
I forget her character's name.
I love Aubrey Plaza, but she does just kind of have like one gear. I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, she's great at that gear. But,
she is. Well, I mean, they cast her in this movie before she was even on Parks and Rec.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she like, I don't know. She put that gear the first time into this movie.
Yeah. It ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the books are really good. Like I said, they take their time a little bit more. There's some like minor differences, but it's pretty damn close. I'm looking forward to reading them again. But yeah. I don't have much more to say about that.
I have a few like places where I feel the movie kind of faltered a bit.
Okay.
Sacrilege, I know.
No, it's okay. Yeah. Nothing's perfect.
This is a game. This is a movie that.
It's a game.
This is also a game. They did release an Xbox game. This is a movie that does traffic in like video game imagery and just the atmosphere. And there is like the moment when like I think after he meets Ramona Flowers, he comes home and it's like this kind of sitcom setup where the Seinfeld music is playing.
Yes.
I feel like that was very just off game. Like that
Really?
didn't really belong. Like I know what they were going for. It's like yes, this is like them talking relationship stuff and just like. She's got pink hair, Jerry. You know. But
Yeah.
I just felt it didn't really belong.
You never felt that way when you've like you're falling in love and you're just like you feel like the star of your own sitcom.
No.
Me neither. But that's how I took it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I wonder if there was just maybe a video game equivalent they could have found there. I don't
True,
know what
yeah.
that would be like. You know, Zelda rescuing the prince. Nah, that'd be dumb.
I feel like that would have been a little too on the nose. But you feel like that part just didn't really work for you.
It just like if you're gonna do other types of television things, then beyond Seinfeld, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something that called attention to itself in a way that I went with it the first couple times, but then as I was nitpicking this movie for little things to talk about in the podcast, I was like, man, the Seinfeld thing.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
I could have lost it.
At least it's not very long. It's just like a little part.
Right.
But yeah, I enjoyed that part. I like that Wallace is not buying into it at all.
Oh, and then, let's talk about Wallace.
Yeah, let's talk about Wallace. Let's talk about these characters. Let's start with the characters.
Okay.
Wallace is great.
Yeah.
Played by Kieran Culkin.
Kieran Culkin, Roman Roy himself.
Mm-hmm. I was so on the way over here. I was like, I gotta remember it's Roman, right?
Yeah,
and I
Roman,
keep thinking of him as Roman. Yeah. Kieran Culkin is great in this movie.
Scott's homosexual roommate.
Is it his homosexual boy?
Who's picking up. Who is like he is a
man's man.
He is a man's man.
He's on the town,
yeah,
meeting dudes and banging them.
I mean, God bless him. You know, just like laying that kind of pipe.
Yeah, he's working hard. He's working. You know, he's out there working hard. Yeah, him and Scott
just having like Wednesday night threesomes.
Right. They sleep in the same bed. So
Wallace owns everything in the apartment.
Yeah. Yeah, we see that.
Basement apartment looks like not really.
Yeah, it's like a hole.
There's some like kind of windows towards the ceiling, but that's really
They go to the location when they were filming it, like they show it, and it is literally somebody's basement. Like obviously the inside is a set,
right.
But yeah, the outside was just a real location.
Love it.
Yeah, but yeah, they live in this like kind of cruddy basement apartment. It's Wallace's place. Scott just kind of lives there. Scott doesn't work or really do anything.
He's in a band.
He's just in a band.
Yeah, you don't get a sense of like besides his sister, unless she's like supporting him financially.
Yeah, I don't know. I think in the books their parents are around.
Okay.
I think he probably just is like. It seems like he maybe just graduated from college or maybe never went to college. I don't remember the particulars.
He's just going through a phase. He's going through some stuff.
Well, there is a whole chapter in the book where Scott gets a job, and it's very dramatic.
Okay.
I remember there's one frame where I think he goes to work at the Second Cup. I think his sister gets him a job there.
All right. And brother and sister working together.
Yeah. And he does not have a good time.
Can you imagine working with a sibling?
Oh, terrible.
Job?
I could barely live with them.
Yeah, same here.
You know, my siblings and I have only gotten closer the further apart we are.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. I think that's natural.
Yeah. Like, I've known some people who like this girl who actually lived with her brother for a bit, and I found that a little strange. I don't know. But,
okay. We'll have to look into that. We'll look into that.
I'm not saying nothing, but
no. We're not saying anything.
I'm not saying there's no slander in the podcast.
You're not saying nothing.
I'm not saying nothing.
But yeah, no, Wallace. I like Wallace.
Yeah.
What do you see? Stealing.
Very, very funny. Just the fact that like you find out like he's attracted to men with glasses, and then they set up that setup, and then just like he made Scott's sister's new boyfriend who has glasses, and then just the way he hits on him, and just the way. It's
not the first time he's stolen her boyfriends. Yeah,
just the reaction shots in this film, the reactions combined with sound effects. That's goddamn cinema, man.
It's cinema.
Yeah.
That and you know what I always love is when he comes in. He's like, "Guess who's drunk?" And he's like, "Wallace." He's like, "That's right." And does that key move?
Yeah,
like he launches the keys into Scott's head while he's trying to sleep,
and his head just like annihilates the pillow, just perfectly like slides right into home base. There.
Right, and manages to send off a text while he's sleeping. He's just a champ.
Yeah,
Wallace is a champ. I love
the band that Scott's in.
Oh, Sex Bomb. Yeah.
You've been in a band, right?
Yeah, I've been in a band. This is this movie is very personal to me.
Yeah.
The line, all of our shows are secret shows. Very hit very hard. Because I was in a band at the time when I saw this movie. I'd actually this came out August 2010?
August 2010, yeah.
Okay, so this is right before I tried to move to Pennsylvania, and I was in a band, and we tried to move down here with that band. And so I was like in it. You know what I mean? Like that's what I was going to do with my life. I was going to be in this band, and every band seems like it's going to be the band, and it never is.
How many people were in your band?
4 of us.
Okay.
I play guitar.
Play guitar.
So it's 2. Oh no, I'm sorry, 5. So there was 4 of us. Sorry, I play guitar. We had a bass player, drummer, and singer.
What are you guys called?
Bike to the Future.
Bike to the Future.
Yeah, it's a horrible name. I still hate that name, but that's the name we all agreed on.
All right.
My band before that was called Yo Adrian.
Yeah. Yo Adrian.
Yo Adrian. With a comma and an exclamation point.
When you were in, I'm always just curious about like the process. Like it was 4 or 5. 5 of you. Right?
4 of us. There are 4
of us. 4 of you guys. Who makes decisions?
Okay.
That's the hardest part.
It's hard. Imagine. Yeah. This band was it was pretty democratic. Whereas the previous band, it usually kind of fell to just 2 of us kind of doing everything, and then the other 2 would just kind of show up.
Okay.
Which I'm sure working collaboratively in groups of people, everybody kind of falls into their role. And
right, there's those people who are like kind of more into it than others. I would imagine.
Well, they love it, but they don't so much love like the business end of things, where it's like, hey, we got to email 100 people to try to get a show.
Right.
We're like, there's the people who set up the shows, and then it's also like, hey, maybe we should screen print some T-shirts. Maybe we should order some stickers.
And it's like you guys you're writing all your own songs.
Yeah.
So I imagine like it's like, oh, so I wrote a song. Is everyone supposed to be writing their own song? And then
I brought a lot of the songs to the table. Usually I'd have a full guitar part ready, and then they would add their own parts to it. But usually it was me. And then I had a couple songs that I had completely written on guitar and that I sang in. And those, like, I brought those almost fully realized. And then our bass player in this last previous band had a song. Every week is Shark Week, which he had brought, and like he had the full song, so we learned how to play that. So it really depends. I feel like in that band, like there may be like we were all kind of songwriters in a way, whereas other bands, it's usually like 1 or 2 people, and then everybody else kind of.
I'm just contrasting this to like my experience with filmmaking, where it's always like maybe I came up with an idea and like I direct it, or then I get people involved. But there's always just kind of like a very clear kind of hierarchy in a way.
Oh yeah.
But then even like doing stuff with sketch, then there's even just it gets a little more muddled, where it's like, oh, we're all writing, and who's directing, and we're all just performing, and it's just there's not like you don't learn how to like deal with you're mixing human relationships with like creative aspirations. And things go just, I guess, inevitably just kind of get messy. Not messy, but just sometimes there's miscommunication or just no one ever...
Egos.
Yeah, egos. Unless there's like real money involved, it's just we're all just kind of like, I guess this is what we're doing. So.
Right. Yeah. And it's even more difficult when, because like if you're making a movie, there's an end time where you're going to finish making this movie.
Right. Yeah, there's a product that hopefully will finish.
And it's much like the record with a band. What?
The headphone's kind of weird.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay.
So much like in a band, band's recording a record, that's kind of like, that's an end thing. But then you kind of, you go on a tour, and then you want to promote that record. You want to get people to buy it, much like a movie. But then it's more, I think with a band, it's more work spread across like a long point of time. And also it's like you're performing all the time, where it's like, I guess it's kind of, I don't know, where I feel like a movie is like, all right, maybe you shoot it for like 6 months, and there's like shooting's like 6 months, and then maybe editing is like a year, or whatever.
Post-production process.
Whereas, I don't know, I think it's more about you're creating a final product that's like, this is it. Whereas like with being in a band, it's like you're seeing it as you're performing these people can buy the record, but then they come to see you play, and it's like it's going to be different every time, and you have to like really kind of bring it as a performance-wise, more performative, I guess. I don't know. Does this make sense?
It does, yeah. I mean, I've always just been like more kind of envious of just the fact that like bands can go on tour.
Yeah.
Like I've always like, those stories like, getting a tour bus, we're going to tour the country. And like, I've always been like, that sounds like so much fun.
And also usually like if you there's more behind the scenes stuff in a movie. Whereas when you're in a band, everybody who's in the band is contributing and also pretty involved most of the time, except for some,
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's been plenty of shoots where it's like I'm not involved creatively. I'm just like another body to help move equipment around. I'm just like they can be fun, but it's just also like
they're also aren't people applauding you moving it around. They're not having a good time watching you move the equipment around. Yeah.
It's like even every PA is working on their own scripts. Because they all want to be Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Or Greta Gerwig.
Yeah. No, but the tour, the road is really like, it's very, I've done tours before, and there's parts that some days were awful, some days were really great, because you're really relying on, if you're doing it yourself, you're relying on what's his face in Philly. Hopefully he picks up his phone because we're staying with him tomorrow night and he's running the whole thing. Like, I don't know. Like, it's really like, thinking about it now, it seems insane to me.
But when you're younger, in your 20s,
it's like, oh, this will work out.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Right.
What could go wrong?
And
that's what this movie really hits me.
Back to the
note. It really does. It makes me miss being in a band so fucking much, and going to shows. I used to go to shows all the time, and your friends are there, and you're enjoying it. And we do comedy now, and it's so different.
The energy is not. I mean, it's like you go to a band. It's like you really only need to use like your ears to kind of engage with it.
Right.
Like, you can like. Just interact with people.
Yeah.
But like with like comedy or even movies, like you have to use all your eyes and ears.
Yes.
And not your mouth.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be an asshole and be heckling or
right, exactly.
or yell at talking during the movie. So
right.
And music, you can just like we're gonna hear the art, but also we can do other things too.
It makes you feel more things. It makes you. It's more physical.
Yeah.
But there's still that energy between the audience and the performer. But it's also like performed like. Music. You could tour a sketch show and it'd be kind of the same thing where it's like, it's the same kind of, everything's written and planned.
That would be fun.
But I don't know. This just made, like, I love Sex Bomb Mom. I was watching this the other night and Jamie was there and I was like, I want to be in a band that sounds like this. It's so like just the distorted and like, Beck actually wrote the music, for all of the Sex Bomb Mom songs. And then, what's his face? He played Steven Stills. He'd never played guitar or sang before, and he learned how to do that for this movie. And is actually one of the producers. I forget the producer's name, but he produced like the Beatles. He's like one of the biggest music producers ever. Like kind of helped him out. And then they had one of the guys from, I think the main songwriter from the Canadian band Sloan was the music director. So he was like in charge of like trying to. Get them to look like they knew how to play their instruments like more than they actually did. Like Scott, Michael Cera, he already knew how to play bass, so he came prepared.
Shocker.
Yeah, right. But Alison Pill, like she had to learn how to play drums.
Yeah.
But they actually do play. They're playing those songs. I mean, they're playing to a track, but it's kind of cool that they like because they could have easily just faked it more.
Yeah, that's what I'm realizing it's so attractive about being an actor. It's like, you join, like they're paying to be in this movie. Also, we're going to teach you how to do this thing. We're going to take like 6 weeks, just like this is your life. Like boot camp of learning how to play in a band.
Yeah.
Or like if you're like Keanu Reeves, like we're going to teach you how to do kung fu. Because like we're paying millions of dollars. It has to look good.
Right.
And you learn kung fu.
Hey, you
learn
kung
money.
Fu. I know kung fu. Yeah. But yeah, no, it makes me miss it quite a bit and the whole lifestyle of it. And, I could do it again, but it's a lot of work. And I do play like solo, but it's not the same going out by myself, and it all falls on me. And if I don't have anybody pushing me to do it, it tends to not happen.
The accountability of it.
Yeah. And it's the camaraderie.
Yeah.
You're playing in a band with your fucking friends and you're living in a house together. And like going to the bar, and then like, oh my god,
it's like there's no division between art and life.
If this movie, if heaven were real, and it's not, but if heaven were real, and I could live in this movie, I would kill myself right now if that wasn't a sin. Like it's just perfect. It distills this time when record stores were still around.
People use payphones and rotary phones just to get in touch with each other. But there's still a few cell phones, but like Scott does make calls, in a rotary phone. And,
right. Well, it makes it kind of timeless in a way.
Yeah.
We talked about that with the Departed.
The Departed.
There really isn't much. There's technology, but it's all kind of retro. But it kind of makes sense because like that will always be kind of cool. So it's like we don't really know when this took place.
Right. Could have been 1910. Who knows?
It could have been 1910. Who knows? It could have been a colonial woman, somewhere.
Could have happened in the year 3004.
Yeah, 3004. While we're on the topic of music, I did want to note that Crash and the Boys. What's your opinion on Crash and the Boys? We talked a little bit about Sex Bob-omb.
Crash and the Boys was the one like the little kid.
Yeah, with the girl drummer.
Yeah,
the 8-year-old. Yeah, great, right?
Joke.
Yeah, I love Crash and the Boys.
In their hit song, like "I hate you and you must die."
Yeah, this goes out to the guy in the balcony. It's called "We Hate You, Please Die." I love Crash and the Boys. That was more like my speed of music back when I was an angry teenager.
Right.
So sad. I love that. But that's actually done by Chad, Kevin, Brendan, and Charles from the Toronto outfit Broken Social Scene, one of my favorite bands of all time.
Oh.
I saw them play in Burlington, Vermont one time, and they played for 3.5 hours, and it was the greatest. Kevin Drew came out, and he was just like, "Hi, we're Broken Social Scene, and we're going to make you feel better about everything." And I was like... And it was delightful.
What a
they
gift.
did.
I love it.
You know what? They did.
Yeah.
But yeah, they wrote the Crash and the Boys songs, and they said they had so much fun writing them that they wrote like a bunch, more than they could possibly use.
See, the equivalent in filmmaking for like the Crash and the Boys is like someone making a movie about like hitmen in black and white. They smoke cigarettes and talk about how God is dead.
Right. Yeah.
And then they force their parents to pay for it or whatever.
Yeah, very nihilistic. Faux nihilistic.
Yeah. There's a girl, but she doesn't really have any lines.
Right.
So.
She's flipping off the camera. She was. Yeah, and then of course they're just immediately obliterated by Matthew Patel's demon girls. a death taken very lightly. Crash and the Boys. The final show.
Yeah.
They
had a good run.
What a great name.
Yeah. Crash and the Boys.
And then we have Clash at Demon Head. Envy Adams is a new band, one of Scott's ex-girlfriends.
This movie does feature Captain Marvel, Captain America.
One of many future Marvel people.
And Superman.
Superman as well. And Captain America.
And Captain America.
And Superman.
And Captain Marvel.
That was 2, I guess.
And Roman Roy.
He's
up there.
He's a superhero. Yeah. Clash of Demon Head. Metric did their song.
That song Metric does, is it Black Sheep?
Black Sheep.
Yeah. That song was playing in my car like as I was like looking for apartments in Bethlehem. I remember I was playing that song all over. I love that song.
Yeah, it's great.
And
the dun dun, that bass note.
It's friend of a friend. And you. Yeah. Yeah, that was on my iPod for a while, man. That was like in my top 25 played of all time.
It's great. I was listening to it last night on the way home. Yeah. Clash of Demon Head, great. I love Envy Adams, just like that whole interaction they have in the coffee shop. She's like, "Oh, we're playing tomorrow. Like, do you want to come?" And it's like, "No, great. You're so on the guest list."
That is like a gear that Brie Larson has like rarely broken out recently, ever since she kind of popped in like, Short Term 21 and Captain the Marvel films. Like she seems like she was having so much more fun in this film than she has like recently.
Yeah, more stoic now.
Yeah,
also like
feel serious. Like
people put a lot of pressure on the first female Marvel movie, and
have fun with it. Though.
Yeah, have fun with it. Yeah, I feel like maybe she had more fun than we were allowed to see. I don't know. Speaking of Captain Marvel, but I did not realize that was her until this recent viewing because it fucking does not look anything like her. No. She's so much younger. Yeah. She has that hair. And then I didn't become aware of Brie Larson until Captain Marvel.
Okay.
And then I kind of was like, oh, she's been in a few things I recognized. I didn't realize she was like a teen like musician.
Yeah, she had a band.
Yeah, she had a band. She was on TRL, like and she ended up like leaving the music industry because they wanted her to, obviously the corporate powers that be. We're pressuring her to
pull the strings.
Yeah, she wanted to do like more like serious rock stuff, more serious stuff, and they wanted to be more poppy.
I remember seeing her in it was called Short Term 12, and she played like a social worker.
Yes, Alison Pill, Kim Pine the drummer, was also in that movie.
He was also in it. Was Rami Malek from Mr. Robot and Lakeith Stanfield from Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah, that was a great movie. Yeah, Short Term 12. Yeah, nice, a Netflix gem.
That's like the ground zero for like all the good character work we've been seeing in the last decade or so. That film.
Yeah. Every once in a while, a film like that comes along.
Every once in a while.
But yeah, you're looking up the name. I forget what the name of the band was.
No. I'm just looking at like. Remember she played Abed's girlfriend on Community for like 3 episodes.
Oh, okay. Alison Pill
Yeah, I saw her on a subway once.
Really?
With Jay Baruchel.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And
I just care about Allison.
I was on a subway. Actually, I was with Kevin Kerner and our buddy Joe. We were we were having some auditions for a movie they were making, and we ran down the subway, and then Joe just starts interrogating Jay Baruchel, like, where do I know you from? And he just made him list his whole filmography, just like, well, I was in Man Seeks Woman, and I was in that episode of The Office. And it's like, you, Scott Pilgrim.
We know you, but where are you from? What are you doing with him?
Where's the hubby from?
Yeah. I love Kim Pine in this movie. She's, she's Alison Pill's great. She was also in what's that? The one HBO show with
In Treatment.
No, the news one.
The Newsroom.
The Newsroom.
The news one.
Yeah, the news one. She was great in The Newsroom. Mm-hmm. She was awesome in that. I was like, oh shit, Alison Pill from Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, she's great. I love her character in this movie. I love Kim Pine. That point in the party where she's just staring at nothing. Oh, Kim's fine. And then that is me at any party. That usually, like, I love that. Just clearly this weird past. They get more into it in the books.
Yeah,
their whole dating thing and how like he breaks up with her and all this stuff.
Now tell me something. All the flashbacks we do see in this film, that like when Ramona tells stories about her exes, like, are those just direct lifts from the comic books? Yep.
When he like punches the moon for her or whatever. Like that's they go through those battles more.
Gotcha.
And that artwork's obviously done by Brian.
Yeah, that looked very familiar.
Yeah. Let's see here. All right, we talked about all the bands. I'm pretty sure. Oh, the Twins.
Twins. Oh, with the the holograms of like the dragons fighting like the Yeti.
Yeah, it was a Yeti.
Yeah, was that a Yeti?
Yeah, that looked fucking
a good Yeti.
Cool. It's a good Yeti.
Yeah.
I think that I don't know.
Is that a real thing bands do? Like 1 stage, 2 amps? Like,
yeah, and we summon creatures.
No, seriously. Is there like
band versus band?
Yeah.
No, I've never. Warp Tour is called that.
Okay.
But it's not intentional.
Okay.
It's outdoor music festivals that'll happen, but no, that's never been a thing. Where
must be a music fest when you're like trying to hear something like cool, like jazz band, and there's just like Q102 has a booth down the street, like a block away. There's like blasting like bad pop music and commercials.
Yeah, and commercials. Don't forget. Yeah.
It's like
we're save that for the actual. Yeah. No,
let me get a free Kind Bar. Fuck off.
We used to, back when we had punk shows in my hometown, we would have shows occasionally where 4 bands would set up. At least there was at least one show where this happened, and it was like a Fatal 4 type situation where one band would play a song and then stop, and then the other band in the next corner would play a song, and everybody would stand in the middle.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool. Yeah, no, one of the bands that did that, I don't remember the other ones, but they're called Ninja Death Squad. Mm-hmm. It was a good band. I think they're from Vermont. But anyway, where were we going with that? The Twins. Yeah, I don't know. I like this sequence a lot. This I think it might be one of my favorites because Scott gets pissed and he's just like, I play better when I'm angry. And they get defeated at first.
That hit me a lot because it's like, sometimes you think like, where is this creative power or the creative skills you have? Is it because I'm angry?
Yeah.
But if I get happy, will I lose that creative energy?
If I take this medication, will I still be an artist? I don't know. I would get pissed playing sometimes, and you play harder. I don't know. Yeah.
Or you're like just make a movie out of spite, and then it just backfires completely.
Yeah. Wow. Do you want to talk about that?
No, I can't cite any specific examples that happen around this. No, I never made a movie out of spite. It's just definitely just like half them are just like trying to prove something, I guess.
Well, what art isn't trying to prove something?
Right? Yeah. Just trying to like make your mark, and
especially when you're a young person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
It's an eternal. We're always trying to prove ourselves. Mm-hmm. We get very angry when somebody tells us.
What do we do this because we enjoy cinematography? No.
No, it all comes from a primal gut anger or sadness. Mm-hmm. There's something wrong with us.
Yeah.
We're in your apartment at 9:16 at night.
Why is
talking into microphones to nobody else except for what's our intern's name?
Felix.
I almost said Philippe.
Felix, can I get another drink?
Yeah, fill me up too.
Yeah, no seltzer, please.
Yeah,
round for the table.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah. There's a lot of people in here.
Yourself.
Oliver, shoot yourself.
Treat yourself.
Oh shit!
Not shoot yourself. We need him to be an intern.
Yeah, I know. Jeez. Ugh, yikes. I like when Scott hits the big muff pedal or the use distortion pedal.
Is that what those are for? Those pedals are changing, they're creating distortion.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of different pedals that can have different like effects, but it's a distortion pedal. Yeah, okay. He has a bass distortion pedal, so it kind of gives it that like thicker, fuzzier sound. Where traditionally bass is not usually has a lot of gain on it, whereas you can use pedals. There's some that like add reverb or like chorus effects. I was never a big pedal person, but
I sometimes see like they're littered all over a stage. I see like go to some like indie band show, and it's just like, how are you not tripping over all this?
And they use like 2 of them.
Yeah,
and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? They're using 2, 3 of them, and their songs are 7 minutes each.
Right?
Like, come on, get it down to a tight 2.5.
Right. I do.
Places to be. Yeah. Sorry. I mean, a lot of shows are just like, it's like, oh yeah, come and see the band. We're starting at 9:00, and it's like 3.5 hours later. Like, all right, we're about to go on.
Punk rock time.
Hate punk rock time. How did that just become accepted? Just like,
I don't know, but I've been fighting it for years. Jiah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you fucking show up, or you miss shows. I used to book shows all the time, and people would never show up until an hour after I said the show would start. I don't know.
So you'd have to like give them like a fake time almost, just so they know that they'll be there. And...
Yeah, I would try to trick them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was difficult. I don't know. What I would usually do is I'd book an out of town band and I'd put them in the middle. Mm-hmm. That's like basically, I don't know, like that always worked best. So I'd have a local opener that everybody would miss, and then by the time they got there, at least the out of town people had a crowd and I could pay them, and then I would usually play last, or somebody else local would play last when, and then you want to get like a local that also like their friends will show up and won't leave after they play. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of moving parts.
A lot of math involved.
Yeah, it's a lot of math. You want somebody who's people are gonna stick around for it. It's basically trying to help out the out of town people who drove 6 hours to play in front of 10 people.
Did that just like it just caught on, or just was it like they're just like mimicking like, oh, the Rolling Stones rolled in?
I don't know when that started. It probably started at punk shows in the 80s, or just that nobody gave a fuck and they were drinking.
It's all against authority, right? Yeah. And what bigger authority than time itself?
Exactly. Yeah.
Fuck you, Father Time.
All just fighting time. Yeah, right.
Some more successful than others.
Right. R.I.P. everyone who failed. We're all here for you.
Vegan superpowers.
Oh, vegan police. Yeah. This is great.
Yeah, that had one of the better cameos of Tom Jane, and
I know he's from Westworld.
He's from Westworld.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
He's been in a lot of things.
We prepared. We did research. I love that. I had a friend who's like militantly vegan. I had a couple like pretty militantly vegan friends. So when this joke landed, it landed hard.
Clifton Collins Jr.
Yeah, not an easy name to remember. No. Yeah, it's one of those people.
Clifton.
It's one of those guys. You see him and it's like, oh, it's that guy.
He was in Traffic. My favorite movie.
Oh, he was in that Philip Seymour Hoffman
Pacific
movie.
Rim, Capote.
And Philip Seymour Hoffman was not in Pacific Rim. My God, I wish I could. I would love it.
Would you trade like Philip Seymour Hoffman like to be alive today, but he's also like the third villain in the Ant-Man films?
Yeah, I'd be absolutely fine with that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
He plays a killer villain. Did you see Mission Impossible 3?
Yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah. You see Doubt?
No.
Meryl Streep? No. Great. It's a good performance.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah. You see Pirate Radio? He's not a villain in that, but he's great. You see Almost Famous?
Yes.
You see Jack Goes Boating?
No.
Oh. Yes, see Jack Goes Boating.
No. Yes. No.
Escalante from Luck is in Jack Goes Boating.
Oh, John Ortiz.
Second build. Yeah, John Ortiz. Yeah. Also in Silver Linings Playbook.
Oh.
Not in this movie, though.
Yeah. Vegan superpowers.
I have
to admit that right now I am back on the vegan train, the plant-based train. So
are you feeling psychic at all? Your hair looks crazy. It's floating through in the air.
I lost my beard somehow.
Yeah.
I have been like kind of for the last like couple years. I've had success at just like like weight loss with just eating plant-based diet.
Yeah,
and then like like one day I go off and then I just gain like those 10 pounds. I've just been losing and gaining the last like 10 pounds like the last couple of years over and over again.
I feel like that's normal.
Yeah, but I feel good when I'm on it,
Yeah.
My toilet loves it, I'll say that.
Oh, I bet. Sip break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say like everyone should do it, but it definitely I think that we are eating more meat than we should be.
Yeah, I've been eating less since the new year.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't had any in the past couple days, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I've definitely eating more vegetables lately.
I grew up like I've told you this, like my parents are vegetarian. They are vegetarian, so it's always been kind of like easy just to kind of like, if I'm going home, if I go visit them at home, like, I don't have to worry about mom's making a steak.
Right.
I've ever actually uttered that sentence, mom's making steak, because she's never made steak.
See, that was my problem is when I was in college, I tried, and I'd come home, and my dad would make like spaghetti sauce with meat in it. And it's like, cool, can't eat any of this. Told you guys.
Right.
And they're like, oh, you can't eat that? I remember one time my mom asked me, "Is like turkey? Is turkey meat?" I'm like, yes, mom.
What bacon?
Well, what about fish?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's meat, mom. If it has a face. Yeah, no, you're not eating gelato, are you, or chicken?
No,
because those aren't vegan.
I know. This happened. Chicken's not vegan.
Chicken's not vegan.
I do love when they leave the scene after, like, they arrest Brandon Routh's character, just like they take away his superpowers. So they have like those
finger rays,
glowing green.
Yep.
Index fingers.
Yeah.
And then they leave the scene and they just like slow-mo high five each other.
And they say, "Yay!"
Yeah, like I want to see that movie.
Yes,
yeah. Just
a spin-off of just the vegan police.
Mm-hmm.
Even a short film would have been nice,
like a post-credit sequence.
Yeah,
setting up the vegan police cinematic universe.
That's all we get, and it's so good. Yeah. So yeah, basically in this world, if you're vegan, you have psychic powers,
telekinetic. You can float.
And Brandon Routh's character explains it as, the part of your brain, you use like 90%.
You use like 10% of your brain because the other 90% are filled with curves and whey.
Yeah. That's if you knew the science. But yeah, and then of course Scott, tricks him into drinking coffee with creamer in it. And that's what his third offense.
Yeah.
Because he ate chicken parm and gelato.
A little late in the night be drinking coffee. Yeah. That's all I can say.
A little bit, yeah. And he drank a lot of that coffee during the takes. There's a lot of different takes he took of that line. But yeah, Vegan Police, great. I love it. Let's just go through you want to just go through the fights?
Sure.
All right.
You want to rank the fights?
Yeah, I was gonna. One of my questions was I wanted to ask you what your favorite battle was. But let's go through them real quick, and then just to kind of refresh our memories, and then maybe we can make like a vote. Okay. First one being Matthew Patel.
Doing a little bit of the Bollywood dance sequence in the club.
He's a pirate.
Yeah.
Because the pirates are in this year.
It's 2010. It was a different time.
I love that Matthew is very polite and does everything he can to contact Scott and let him know about the guild. He sends him an email, which Scott
skims it.
But Wallace reads it because Wallace knows what's happening. Right. He's like, hey, it's that one guy. Fight him. We're good. Matthew Patel shows up. He has demon hipster chicks that he can summon that shoot fireballs. It's very like he kind of sings this weird song, kind of off key, and he's dancing. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the first one.
That's Matthew Patel.
Number 2 was Lucas Lee, the second Evil X, who's a pro skateboarder turned movie star.
Chris Evans.
Who
learned how to skateboard for this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's filming a movie by that castle, and they get into a fight
by
the castle. A lot of fun stuff with just like his stunt double show up, and like he starts filming the scene. You think that he's in character in the scene, but then he's actually pointing to Scott off camera. Yeah. And it's like the film crew's just kind of like they're accepting it. They're just kind of going around and kind of not shooting around it, but just no one's calling attention to it. Obviously.
No. Well, he does whatever he wants. He's a huge action star. I love that he's kind of nice. He's like, oh, he seems nice. How you doing?
Yeah.
This is just the thing I have to do because I signed this contract. I have to fight him. Sorry. That's what it seems like a lot of these people are. They're over Ramona.
Right.
Matthew Patel kind of says like he'll pay for this flowers at one point, but they all seem like they've moved on and they're just like, all right, well, sorry, you're in this contract now. I like that.
I do love when Lucas comes out of his trailer, like the Universal Studios theme is playing, and he cracks his neck in time with like the boom boom.
Yes.
Bum, 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 boom, crack. Yeah.
That cold call sequence that Wallace is watching on the TV.
Yes.
You're gonna hear 2 clicks. First one is me hanging up. The second is me pulling the trigger. First shot they shot for this movie. That was Slate 1.
You get a glimpse of like an entire alternate history of Chris Evans' movie career through this film.
I love that.
all those fake movie posters that are like just dead ringers for action.
Oh,
and yeah.
Oh, and they
I love the chin beard.
The chin beard is very good. The leather jacket. 2 weeks of night shoots to shoot this sequence.
2 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks of night shoots.
I believe it.
Yeah, and freezing. Yeah, apparently everybody else is bundled up, and then Chris Evans is wearing nothing but a t-shirt.
This is a very snowy film.
Very snowy.
Yeah, it was winter in the graphic novel as well.
It was, most of the time. Toronto, it's very snowy. There is a summer like chapter.
Okay,
this all seems to take place over the course of like maybe a few weeks, whereas in the books, some seasons pass. It's more of like a long process.
I like that.
It's nice, yeah. But yeah.
Okay, so number 3 we have we talked about Todd Ingram, who's the vegan with the psychic powers.
Yep, is the bass player for Clash of Demon Head, which is Envy Adams' boy toy that she left Scott for to move to Montreal.
We've got number 4, Roxy Richter.
So
Ramona's fourth evil ex and former college roommate. She's a half ninja and a accomplished fine artist.
Yeah,
and
she's teleport.
It was when Ramona was a little bit bi-curious, but now Roxy is bi-furious.
That joke, I remember, landed very well in the theater. Yeah, that holds up.
Yeah,
it's great.
Nothing wrong with it. That joke is not
it's
problematic.
Great. No, there's and I love the build up to that where you just Scott would keep saying like, I gotta fight your ex-boyfriends. She's like, well, 7 evil exes. She keeps saying exes. It's like, one of them's a woman.
Yeah, played by Mae Whitman, also from Arrested Development.
Yep, and also she played Egg.
Wait, who?
Her? Who? Her? She was also in Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is a very good performance in that. She's great. Loved her in this.
And she gets defeated she gets poked behind the knees, and she basically just collapses into a puddle of ecstasy. Implying like, oh, you'll never do this to her, but she did this to me.
Then orgasms and turns into pocket change.
Cum joke.
As one does. Yeah, it's good. You gotta love a good cum joke. What time was it? This probably like 1:15 in the morning when you got a good cum joke. That's a good time for it. It's movies for kids, What's next?
We got the twins, Kyle and Ken Yanagi.
Yes, the Yanagi twins.
Yeah.
Yep. So they're DJs and more electronica artists, I guess. They have keyboards.
Yeah. The Double Dragon set piece.
Yes.
And then finally, the final boss, the Bowser, the
Gideon
Donkey Kong,
Graves.
The Ganondorf, Gideon Gordon Graves.
Yeah.
Played by Jason Schwartzman. Good villain.
Huge fan of Jason Schwartzman at this point. He was having a good time as well. He was in Shop Girl. He was in I Heart Huckabees.
Speaking of, if you like I Heart Huckabees, feel free to check through our back catalog for the episode.
We do an episode on I Heart Huckabees. We've mentioned a few episodes. We've done The Departed.
Yeah.
You can go back and listen to that. I feel like we mentioned something else. But yeah, good episode there. Huckabees episode. Yeah,
it's a great one. But yeah, this is the final boss, and he briefly imprisons Ramona on his pyramid throne with a choker around her neck.
Yeah. Well, the choker was stylistic. She has a microchip embedded into her skull that he's controlling her. They go more into that in the books that he's using mind control through that chip, so she can't actually she has, I don't know. It's kind of devious, and they reference it too. I love the little clues they drop at the party too. Aubrey Plaza's character, she's like, I don't think she's over her ex-boyfriend. She keeps kind of just talking about Gideon over and over again, and it's because of that chip. But yeah, he's the head honcho. He created the guild of evil exes.
It took him over 2 hours to go that content info together.
Yeah, 2 hours.
You made me swallow my gum.
It's gonna be my digestive tract for 7 years.
Not 7. Number 7.
Number 7. He's also a big shot music producer.
Yeah, G-Man.
Steven Stills wants to get with Gideon because they want to get on his record label.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all 7.
So, what fight scene spoke to you? Which had you clenching your armrests, or maybe settling in a little bit more, being
just
I'm really
biting my
this.
fingers.
Yeah.
Sweating profusely.
Can you pick a favorite?
I think my favorite probably was Lucas Lee, the film shoot one. Mainly just for that Universal Studios gag, audio gag.
Yeah.
And the ending with like the Tony Hawk like grinding on the staircase all the way down.
These rails are garbage.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, could you do a thingy on that? I love that. Yeah. I love how Scott has to use the smarts sometimes.
Yeah.
He tricks Lucas Lee and he tricks...
He does a lot of trickery in this film.
Yeah,
he's doesn't actually just like a lot of boss fights in video games. Just like, oh, I just beat him up before like my health bar went to 0.
Yeah. That's more the Gideon fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gideon starts flashing red, and then they usually blow up.
I do like the flashing red, like they're kind of glitching out, like like that's very true to video games. So that's my favorite. Number 2,
nice.
Lucas Lee.
Yeah, I think I discussed. I really like the moment with the big Yeti coming out, and they hit the distortion pedal, and that really good song, like the dun 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 dun. Like I really loved that moment, but I felt like that battle was too short. For being so late in the movie.
It was like the second last battle. I think it was just like kind of...
It's like, all right, let's move this along.
Let's get to it.
And we
didn't have any like big actors playing the twins. At least that I didn't recognize.
Well, yeah, and like I feel like we get a little bit of time with every other except for them. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that was kind of like, if I had to make like a critique of this movie, like that
Yeah, did they even have any dialogue?
Not really.
Yeah.
No. They mostly just like... I don't know.
In the comics, they have a bigger role?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure because they have more time.
Right.
Yeah, the movie at this point starts to feel a little bit more compressed.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty quick movie. It's like under 2 hours. It's like an hour and 52, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think this would have played better as like as a Netflix show or like a television series?
Yeah. I think it would have probably. I feel like this movie is really great, but I feel like now, if they made this now, they could do that a little bit more easily, because there is more of a world you could live in. I don't know. I'd have to say the Matthew Patel fight, just because it's the first one.
Yeah,
and then
just the first time, like when he gets defeated, like they turn into a pile of coins.
Yeah, it's like ooh, change. Yeah, and these people are dying, and he's just picking up loose change. It's like I love that it's not questioned at all. It's
just a murder scene. Yeah.
Like video games exist in this world, but also in the real world too. Like I don't know, it's funny. Yeah, and like you keep scoring more and more points, more and more coins every single time. But yeah, so yeah, okay, so yeah, so you'd pick the Lucas Lee, and I pick Matthew Patel's fight. Great.
Okay, keep that.
Right. Keep that
in mind.
Any other notable scenes that you really liked about this movie? Like, I speaking for myself, I love the first time he talks to Ramona, like at the party.
But talking about Paku.
And he has the plastic cup.
Man, yeah.
Just clenched in his fist the whole time.
Oh, God.
And then just the I'll leave you alone forever now. That's speaks to me very strongly. I love that scene. That whole party scene's really good. I love the chats with the other partygoers. The one guy who knows everybody. Like, don't you know everybody? Oh, yeah.
Knows everybody.
Yeah.
You punched the highlights out of her hair.
He punched the highlights out of her hair.
Everything with Young Neil's pretty solid. What do you play? Zelda, Tetris.
It's kind of a big question.
Big question.
Yeah. Young Neil's great.
Like I've seen those guys all the time growing up, just throughout life, and they always have like those wristbands and like that graphic designer T-shirt, and just like kind of soft spoken, but.
He just wants to be Scott. I think he looks up to Scott a lot.
He's got like the Nintendo DS, just always just on, just playing.
Yep. Kind of talks like he has braces.
Yeah.
But he doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
It's like he never dropped that. Yeah. No, I went to college with a lot of those people. I was friends with a lot of guys like that.
I didn't until this movie. I didn't really get the purpose of those wrist bands. It's just for sweat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have your fingers get all sweaty.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're playing, especially when you play music. Scott wears them, and and it also protects your wrist from the strings. But yeah, it's mostly sweat. Yeah. That way you don't drop your pick.
I'm gonna need to get those when I play video games next, just like so I don't get sweat on my PlayStation.
It's a good idea.
Controller.
Yeah. You want to keep that clean.
Especially when Cyberpunk comes out in September.
Oh God, you're spending a lot of time there.
I have been finding myself just like watching like they have like at least like 2 videos of just like in-game footage, and I've just been rewatching portions of it just like on lunch breaks and just like while I'm just doing shit just to because I want to play that game so goddamn much. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I just want to disappear into this world.
You want to disappear?
I just want to disappear. It's my thing with open world video games is I just want to disappear into a world that I don't know. It's a vacation. That's what I need.
You need a vacation.
I need a vacation.
Maybe you should.
Well, I've been wasting my time
go
with video
somewhere
games
nice
for. I
or
should
something.
go somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
I should travel the world and see it before I die.
Get time.
Do I?
I don't know. Do any of us? You could turn to pocket change at any moment.
Yeah, right. Ew. How much do you think you'd be worth?
Oh, I don't know. I'd probably
self-worth.
It'd be like I would die and I would disappear, and it'd probably be $10. I'm gonna say $10 in quarters, and then it'd also be like a toonie in there, and a loonie, and then from Canadian coins, and then a paper clip, and then maybe a Bazooka Joe comic. But they'd be all like shitty. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be mine.
I just die and the camera would go up like wasted, and then just like some tips on like next time you play, try going down the street to Emil's chop shop if you want to trade in those wheels. You know,
wasted. No GTA references in this.
No, it's a little more. You know,
it's more retro gaming.
It was like right after GTA 4 came out, before GTA 5.
Yeah.
Right before LA Noire came out.
Oh, right before, yeah. Sandwiched right in there.
But yeah, I mean, they're well-known games, but there's not like how there's iconic like sound effects or even like visuals. It's just kind of like
except for wasted.
We just recreated Goodfellas and
yeah,
in a 3D world.
Let's see here. I had some notes. Oh yeah, everybody was on a strict like physical training regimen for this movie, just to, like learn how to do stunts. Everyone looks great because they grew up at fucking 6 a.m. all exercising together.
Right. Did they really?
Yeah. No, they did. Huh. Yeah, they were all like because they wanted to learn how to do. Edgar wanted them to do as many stunts as they could do physically.
Right.
Like that scene where Scott gets thrown into the castle and then falls down. That's not a CGI person. That's a man falling and hitting points of the castle. Like
I figured
it's a real person falling. So it's not Michael Cera. They actually got a guy, one of Jackie Chan's guys, to do all the stunt coordinating.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The fights are pretty badass and just like on point, and they also a lot of time and care was put in like just making them look like just of the piece.
Oh, absolutely. They filmed them in sequence too. Like every fight was shot in sequence
in a row, like chronologically.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, it's hard to shoot them backwards, you know.
Yeah,
because you gotta start out with like blood on your face, then you gotta slowly remove it as you go backwards in time.
It's a lot.
So
it's quite a bit. Jiah, how do you think you would fare against Nega Jiah? Is he out there? Do you fear him?
Definitely definitely never decided to get brunch together. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's more just been like, what's the scene in Fight Club where like Brad Pitt's destroying like Jared Leto's character, just wailing him against like a concrete wall, and just like I want to destroy something beautiful.
Yeah.
Something in that neighborhood.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So wait, who's destroying who? Just both of you together?
It's yeah.
I feel like I met Nega Jiah maybe once or twice. There's definitely one time on your birthday.
Oh yeah.
I feel like maybe that was Nega Jiah.
Yeah, he comes out usually Friday, Saturday nights. Or maybe Monday nights or Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights.
He makes an appearance and then vanishes.
Yeah.
Your eyes were glowing red. You were kind of transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Shadow version of yourself.
Yeah, you didn't know him in the battle day. You know, you see him like a little more like he's gotten his shit together a little more. But there are some days where let's just say that he would have been banned from several proper establishments.
Nega Jiah was on the verge of cancellation. You would say
probably.
You know, it's
Nega Jiah was canceled.
It's interesting to me that you had a beard up until a week ago.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, now, you still get used to this.
Yeah. No, but it's just
I did shave my beard. It's coming back.
Yeah, but now did Nega Jiah have a beard?
On and off. On and off.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out who I'm talking to.
Yeah. Justin, I never told you about my twin brother, did I? No, the beard's coming back. I was so
all right, everybody. This is exclusive. Nobody worry. Visually,
it's coming back. Got your fan mail.
Yeah.
Letters of concern.
You will once again be hearing that sweet beard rustle against the microphone.
I do miss that. We're just like biting it.
Biting the beard?
Biting the beard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the questions I wanted to ask.
What about you, Justin?
Mega Justin?
Mega Justin.
Oh, God. He's thriving.
Yeah?
I feel like Dark Justin is back upon us now.
Okay.
Follow me on Twitter.
Justin Margulis.
yeah, Justin Margulis. Yeah, he's here to stay. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Naked Justin. Yeah, he pops up every now and then. We all have our shadow selves. Do you believe in our shadow selves, Jiah?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just to say that there's just one version of ourselves. I mean, we contain multitudes.
Yeah, the dark passenger.
Yeah.
The one that makes all these decisions. Like when you're in traffic and you should stop because the light turned red, but then your foot doesn't quite come off of the pedal. Sometimes the shadow, the dark passenger is driving.
Yeah. Sometimes they just know what's good for us.
Yeah.
They've seen some shit.
Yeah, they've seen some shit. Sometimes they're our protectors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I like that they build up to this, and then Nega Scott and regular Scott decided to get brunch.
It was at the point where it's like the movie kind of needed to end, but it was a funny kind of capper in a way. So
I don't know, and he had already learned the power of self-respect and love, so maybe that's what
it's a good joke,
right? It's a good joke, but also a message.
Be good to yourself, folks.
Be good to yourself.
Be good to yourself.
Love is not enough. Be good to yourself. Put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you try to help anybody else. Did you have anything else to add, Jiah? I don't know. Do you have
overall?
Anything? Yeah, I was nervous I told you about this. I was nervous to talk about this.
Yeah, you wanted to dive deeper. You wanted to reread the comics.
Yeah, and it's
listen to all 7 commentary tracks on Blu-ray.
I only had time. I had time to listen to no commentary tracks, but I watched some special features, and
I wish I could just download a commentary track onto my phone and then just listen to it as I drive somewhere. Yeah, wouldn't that be a great app? Or just a service.
Yeah, that'd be great because I don't need to. Yeah, it'd be nice if say there was a podcast that released a commentary track that didn't necessarily require you to watch the movie with it.
It's like the Blu-rays in your car,
or
in the gym, or on a walk, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Yeah, I think there was a podcast that did that recently. I think they covered the Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz, you say?
Yeah, with what was his name? With Daniel Dwyer.
Daniel Dwyer?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
We had, go back in our archives. And after you listen to the I Heart Huckabees episode, you can listen to the Wizard of Oz commentary track.
I just had a few more questions. This was just this is an adaptation of a comic book. And you were talking about all the benefits of a long form comic book where time kind of has more time to breathe.
Yeah.
Time has more time to breathe. Great fucking metaphor, Peck.
It's okay. It's 9:45. It's almost lights out.
Should adaptations exist? Because I was thinking about this, people we're turning Harry Potter into a movie, but then you lose 50% of what you liked about the books just to kind of replicate some of the plot and characters and lines that you like. And so is mixing mediums of film with literature, is it natural?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. I know that film is it's a much newer medium than literature is. I'm lumping comics in with literature because it's still a written word.
Yeah. So I think it goes back to these stories that have been passed down through generations and generations. Before we had movies and TVs and even print. Yeah. People would pass on stories and stuff like that.
Just
and they would change over time.
Right.
And you would maybe add something of your own in there. Or old folk songs. The best folk songs are ones you think you heard before. Huh? So I would say that it's natural in that way. Yeah. It's a retelling. I don't think they need to happen every 10 years. You know what I mean?
You keep rebooting them.
Right. And I think this adaptation is great because the original creator was so heavily involved. He drew the storyboards, it's he was on set every day, Edgar Wright. Brian had a playlist of songs he would listen to for each certain chapter that he wrote, and Edgar listened to those same songs. Cool. And so much love was put into it because he easily could have just been hey, we want to make your books. And then kind of just take, you know what I mean? They kind of I feel like every decision that was made was approved by Brian.
It was like a partnership in a way.
Yeah, it was a partnership.
I think maybe more of my concern, like not concern, but just like this is a movie that deals with like video games, and there haven't been many good, if any, good video game adaptations.
No, Street Fighter.
Because I think that's a whole like different genre. Like you kind of like are taken on a journey with books, literature, comics. Where like, okay, it's going in one direction, but like with video games, there's so much like you control the story in a way. You know, you do create moments that are of your own making, and then when they try to like just take characters, they're just characters. They never actually like replicate like, okay, we're doing like Tomb Raider 1 and we're gonna do every level, turn that into an action set piece in the film.
It'd be terrible.
Yeah. So like I almost feel like the best like this and like Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise, which has aspects of video game gameplay in it. That's the best way to tackle them. But they keep trying to like, let's make a good Half-Life film or make a Grand Theft Auto movie or.
It makes more sense now because games have become more narrative, like more like movies.
Right, but like are they gonna like say, oh, we loved The Last of Us, let's just make that new, like beat by beat a film?
They're making a movie out of it.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, well, it's already a movie.
Yeah,
I think video games, it's that connection of you making decisions and you controlling it, right? And that's lost completely when you're just like, I'm just gonna watch this. It's like watching somebody else play. You're detached.
Yeah,
there's a disconnect there.
Speaking of, you gonna come and watch me play Cyberpunk?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I'll be here every day. I'll be here every day.
I need some company.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm gonna have to check in.
It's just to check in, just to make sure like I'm still breathing. You know?
Yeah. You know,
they might have like an expansion pack where it's like, do you want to live in this world and just draw a warm bath and
it's gonna be like
a razor blade.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be like Matt Durst and his wife. And I'll come by and I'll put lotion on you occasionally, roll you over so you don't get bed sores.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll get you a key.
Thanks. Oh, great. Cool. Thanks. But yeah, no, I feel like this adaptation's good. But yeah, there's some that it's just like, how many fucking times are we going to do this? You know, even the successful ones. Like they're making another Invisible Man.
Yeah.
I just saw the trailer for that and it's like, okay.
Like we didn't like Hollow Man? Who are the hardcore fans from like, you know, the late 1800s who are like, oh, finally they're gonna get it right this time.
Invisible Man.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. I don't know. It is exhausting though. Mm-hmm. And what's great about this movie is I don't think it could be remade.
Not at all. No.
Never.
I hope they never do. They got lightning in the bottle here, and just to try to fuck with that, so this wasn't even like a big hit to begin with. You know, I think it bombed. It bombed at the box office.
Did it bomb at the box office?
It bombed at the box office.
I didn't know that.
I believe it did. Yeah.
I feel it's definitely become a cult movie.
Yeah, it has.
Did you play the video game?
I did not. No.
Oh my god, the video game, delightful. It's like a 8-bit kind of game. You could play any of the characters.
Okay, so it's not like a they went retro with it.
They went retro with it, but yeah, cool. It was more of like it feels like a SNES game.
Okay.
So I guess more like is it 16-bit or 64? Not 64-bit. That's N64. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know that stuff very well. But anyway, the music is great in it, and it's basically a beat 'em up. It's kind of like Double Dragon.
Oh, that's
or
cool.
What's that other game with
Double Dragon 2?
Double Dragon 2. Yeah. There was another one. Double Dragon 3.
That's why.
Speaking of video game movies, Double Dragon. Anthony DeSantis loves that movie. Horrible movie. He will admit that it's horrible. Horrible video game adaptation.
I mean, noted fan of the show, Anthony DeSantis is.
We've talked about it.
Yelling at his phone right now.
What? But no, the video game was great. It was Microsoft exclusive, so it was only on the 360.
Oh, exclusive.
Yeah, and now they lost the rights to it, so they took it down off the store, and now unless you downloaded it onto your 360, it's fucking gone. They didn't release a physical copy of
terrible.
It. It's
that's another part of like in terms of like archiving like games, like you know they can. You can watch most movies like on any device, like DVDs. Like you can watch a DVD on a Blu-ray player, but like you know some of those old SNES games, it wasn't for like people actually like making ROMs and emulators. Like these things just be lost. There's not like a consistent like reliable archiving system for these things.
Right.
So many systems aren't even backwards compatible. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And in that way, it's almost perfect that it's gone forever because it's a harkening back to those days.
Right. I mean, that's when piracy that's when piracy saves us. I don't condone piracy for things that are easily available to buy legally, but if it's not easily available, then fuck it.
Yeah.
Fire up the Pirate Bay, baby.
Baby. The Pirate Baby.
Pirate Baby.
But I believe it is still on my 360 in my attic.
Don't lose it.
I won't. It's the last one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same thing as the movie and the books. Mm-hmm. You go to all the locations and you're beating up guys and saving the world and trying to save Ramona. But you can play as Ramona.
Oh, I like that.
Play as Kim.
Can you choose your hair color?
I think so, yeah.
Nice.
And then also each character has different moves. You can get a 64 hit combo, which is fun.
I was like Halloween. I once ran into a girl at a Wawa and she was dressed as Ramona Flowers for Halloween. And I said, "Hey, Ramona Flowers." She's like, "You're the first person that knows who I was." Everyone was calling me like Madonna or Katy Perry or something like that.
You know what would have been so game?
What?
If you walked up to her and did the Puckman thing.
I should.
You would have married her.
Actually, I did. Come on out, honey.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah. Justin, you met Mary Elizabeth?
Oh my God, I'm such a huge fan.
Star of The Thing remake.
Yeah, I loved you in that.
She hates
a prequel.
She hates
a prequel.
She hates what I say. Yeah, just say The Thing. I know.
Yeah.
But how am I supposed to know which one you're talking about?
You were great. You were great in Fargo. I loved you in Fargo. So good in Fargo. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Oh, and 10 Cloverfield Lane. You and John Goodman. I can't believe. I'm so starstruck right now.
Yeah, we're trying to keep things on the DL, or the.
Or the what? The what?
Yeah, so anyway, great bit. So that's Scott Pilgrim versus the world.
Okay, yeah, that's it. I mean, I think that's really all.
I think, yeah. Great movie. Seek it out.
Yeah, pretty easy to find. It's on Netflix.
Is it?
It is. I watched it on Netflix last night.
Oh.
Yeah.
For now.
You can also get it on Steelbook, and it has way too many special features. More than...
I think this is one of the first Blu-rays I actually ever bought.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think me too.
2010, 2011,
Yeah. It's great.
We were waiting those like I think around 2009 or so. I was like, what's going to win, Blu-ray or HD DVD?
Oh.
Did you I didn't pick a side. I was just like, I'm just going to let them battle it out. I'm not going to try to start buying
I didn't pick a side either because I didn't have anything that could play those. Cause
exactly. It was just like, the only place you can get them is you buy a certain player, and
I was holding out for
like
DVDs.
$1,000. Yeah,
DVDs are still hanging strong.
They still are.
Yeah.
Backwards compatible too.
Right. Exactly. So I mean, what can I say?
What can you say?
What can I say besides that? Every pilgrim reaches the end of its journey, and much like every podcast. Some sooner than others.
All I can say is bread makes you fat, so,
Bread makes you fat? Great scene. That's that's also one of my favorite scenes. One of my favorite gags. That's Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Seek it out. Get the books. Books are great.
Yeah.
Find that video game if you can. Find a friend who still has a 360.
Travel back in time to 2010. Go see a midnight show.
Go see a midnight show. Yeah. You gotta.
It'd be a good crowd.
Yeah, they played it once at Steel Stacks last year. It was like a Scott Pilgrim cult series.
Oh,
yeah,
I missed
it. Yeah, Aaron was gonna go, and he's never seen this movie.
Aaron,
I don't think he's seen it. I don't think he listens to this either. But Aaron, you gotta see.
Now we'll know.
Now we'll know. Yeah. I'll get an apology at 3 a.m. somehow before this drops.
Right. You probably put a bug on my apartment.
Just
to cover all his bases.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Aaron. Hey. But so that's Scott Pilgrim. If you like this podcast, maybe tell somebody about it. Give us a like, rate, and review.
It's just like little couple words there,
It'd be like Justin talks too much the whole time.
Yeah.
But 5 stars.
Yeah. Jiah goes off on weird tangents that are slightly angry, and has a lot of resentment he's trying to work through by talking to a microphone. But hey, 3.5, 4 stars.
3.5, 4 stars. Yeah. Please, nothing less.
Nothing less.
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Amusing Ourselves to Death. AOTD Pod, I think, is what it is.
Yeah.
No, I didn't choose that one because that also means Ass of the Day.
Ass.
I
think I've been on that website.
Oh, shit. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, that's all we got. Jiah, do you want to take us out with any words of wisdom? Like you take us out every episode.
We are amusing ourselves to death. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Justin and Jiah are a couple of guys who know they're gonna die, so they're biding time by consuming content and wasting their breath. It's a podcast called Amusing Ourselves to Death.